Hey, I'm Nicolina, your magical BFF and founder of the Fool's Bag. I recently read something that stopped me in my tracks. Menopause is basically the epilogue or afterword of a long book. I had no idea that to be in menopause meant you've gone 12 months without a period. That's the milestone, the finish line, the summary of a very long chapter book. Apparently, this whole roller coaster of a ride of a storyline before that, the changing periods, the skin changing, the face you barely recognize in the mirror, the anxiety, the early morning wake-ups, the random hot flashes just for funsies. That's called perimenopause. And when I read that, I had a very real aha moment. And then an even realer what the fuck moment. Because suddenly I thought, wait, maybe all these issues I've been having, dread, depression when I first wake up, anxiety's ramping up throughout the day at various times, maybe they're just not random. Maybe all of these line up to me being in perimenopause. And my thought after that, what the hell do I do with that? If you're here, I'm guessing this sounds familiar. You wake up 3, 4 a.m., heart pounding, brain spinning, feeling like there's a damp washcloth of dread just sitting on your face. You're still getting your period, kind of, but it's a different creature now. Your clothes may feel wrong, your hair feels all wrong, your face feels wrong. And most of what you've heard is basically a litany of symptoms you're supposed to manage until one day you magically hit that 12-month mark and ta-da! You're in menopause. Cool. Great. What are we supposed to do with all the other plot changes and narrative arcs? Here's the secret I figured out the hard way. Perimenopause is not just something to get through so you can arrive at this mystical endpoint called menopause. Perimenopause is a portal. Let's just let that sit for a second. Perimenopause is a portal. It's not a detour. It's not a glitch in the system. It's a way in to yourself. It's the part of the story where the main character, that would be you, by the way, stumbles into the hidden door in the library, or falls through the wardrobe, or gets that letter from Hogwarts she thought was never coming. Now, when we say older wise woman, most of the depictions we've seen are not exactly us. You know the image. Hunched back, long gray hair, tattered clothes, cane, maybe a wart. Our grandmothers and ancestors deserve our respect for surviving what they did, but we are not obligated to inherit the costume. The wise woman today might be a high-powered business owner in a power suit who knows exactly when to say no. A creative who knits or writes or paints and quietly weaves joy into everything she touches. Someone whose skin has loosened and softened in a way that actually looks more like who she really is. Same archetype, new character design. I don't know about you, but I am tired of being handed this long list of symptoms and essentially being told, good luck, you'll be dealing with this for who knows how many years. Maybe we can dampen a few things with herbs or hormones. Otherwise, grit your teeth and manage. I don't accept that as the only storyline. Yes, support is great. Yes, herbs, acupuncture, hormones can all be helpful tools. But if all we ever do is try to mute the signals, we never ask, what the hell is this trying to show me? That's where the portal comes in. This hits especially hard if you're one of my fellow INFJ, highly sensitive, gifted girls who grew up being told you were capable of so much and then somehow ended up feeling like you were always flailing, never quite finding your niche. You tried this job, that role, this spiritual path, that creative thing. You were always hunting for your bliss. And at the same time, being quietly told you weren't doing life right. Here's what I've learned. You are not a late bloomer. You are blooming right on time. Perimenopause is not proof that you missed your chance. It's the chapter where your authentic self finally steps on stage and says, I'm here. I'm not a side character anymore. When I started treating perimenopause as a portal and just dove in wholeheartedly, following the symptoms, listening to the dread, tracking the 3 a.m. wake-ups, I didn't just feel better. I woke up my sovereign self. The part of me who knows who she is, knows what she can do, and is no longer afraid to do it. That's the version of me you're meeting right now. The one running this business, talking to you, because my authentic self is, at her core, a helper and a guide. And because I am who I am, I couldn't help but turn this into a bit of a quest. Think of perimenopause as a long, little weird, role-playing game campaign. Menopause is the end of chapter milestone. The whole messy middle? That's the road trip, the dungeon crawl, the leveling up process. Every time you listen instead of panic, you're in a little beginner's mind XP. Every time you admit what you really feel, you get authentic self XP. You're not broken. You're becoming. If you are looking for a fresh perspective on how to move through perimenopause, I've got just the thing. We will delight your inner nerd and your inner mystic while also helping you feel just a little more empowered in this transition, and we'll give you a taste of what it's like to write your own story. All you have to do is go to thefoolsbag.com/hot-flash-cards to receive this free gift. You'll also find that link in the description and right here on the video. And don't forget, hit like and subscribe to keep getting these fresh takes. You really can choose your own adventure. Just take the leap.